let's talk a little bit about self-awareness, because in my opinion, self-awareness is the most important tool and thing that you should invest on in life. Because I just read a study about where they tested how many people are actually aware of their habits, their triggers, and overall their life. And it was around 90% of people are unaware of what they are, what they represent, what they look like, how they act, and so on. And this is just astonishing. It's like 90% of the people have a different image of themselves than all other people have. And that's essentially what self-awareness is. It's becoming more aligned with what you believe and think on the inside and what you portray to the outside. And for example, if you never shoot yourself on video, if you avoid looking in the mirror, if you don't have discussions with other people how they see you, how can you be aware of what you are? Because the ego and our mind kind of builds up this ideal version, an illusion. It's very easy to go into that illusion, and you follow mainstream media and you follow what the system has taught us, and that actually, in my opinion, takes you away from your own awareness. Tools like psychedelics and meditation and stuff like this is kind of just like pushed away and be like, no, you don't need it. You just need to read this. You just follow this system and so on. So I realized that I want to be an advocate of self-awareness. And I don't say I'm 100% self-aware, but I aim to learn all the time. And that's what's important, to be the student all the time and not pretend that you're ready, because nobody is ready. Nobody is perfect, like 100%. That's like our life mission is to become more self-aware and grow. So I want to share a few practices that you can do to become more self-aware. And the first one is journaling. And I think journaling is super great because you kind of you empty your mind onto paper, and it might feel that it doesn't do anything, and that's what it was for me in the beginning. But then when I started doing it, it kind of just relieved some pressure. So journaling for sure. Another thing is meditation, and that's more about observing yourself and becoming the observer and see like, okay, what kind of thoughts do I have today? Okay, what do my feelings say? How can I understand myself better and my inner world? So meditation has been a really big change for me, and I've even shared one story of how I started, and you should go check that out. The third thing, and in my opinion, the most powerful one, is to film yourself on video, because when you film yourself on video, there isn't really anything you can hide. Like, the way you talk is the way you talk, and the way you look is the way you look. Okay, there are differences with how the camera angle and the focal length and so on, but it gives you a pretty good idea. And the same with sound. You should listen to yourself. How do you speak? Put your phone on recording for an hour and just go on and live your life and then listen to it. You might be really surprised, because the way we react and the way we think we act might be totally different. And this is why I became aware of my style and how I move and things like this, because I was filming myself with skateboarding and snowboarding. So I kind of developed my style and how I move based on that. And people who are kind of afraid to be on camera, I guess it's because they're not self-aware. Their internal image of themselves isn't aligned with the external, and this is what causes anxiety and these negative emotions. The fourth thing is discussions, and especially if you're in a relationship, that's going to be a really big one, because your partner is kind of a mirror to yourself, and you can really grow during a relationship. And by growing, I mean going through those hard conversations, those fights and difficult moments, because if you don't go through them, how can you grow? And for me personally, my close relationship that's lasted for 6.5 years now has been the biggest personal development tool that I've ever experienced in life. So relationships and discussions with people, I think that's an underrated thing to become more self-aware. And the last fifth point of this video is to reflect on yourself. Every evening you can take a few minutes and start thinking about, okay, how did I act today? Is there any situation I could have acted better? Is there any situation I acted really well that I'm proud of? And kind of evaluate your own actions and how you felt, and just thinking about it. This has been really powerful for me too, to kind of see how well you did. And if there's anything you can improve, you acknowledge it and be like, oh yeah, but I tried my best and I'm gonna do a little bit better the next time or tomorrow. And this is actually an exercise that Joe Dispenza, he was asked if there's one thing you could do to kind of become more self-aware and be more aligned. It was just this, to reflect on yourself and your actions during that day. And if you do this every day, you are gonna be so much more aware, but you need to be honest. That's one thing. If you're not honest with yourself, if you're not vulnerable with yourself, you're just gonna build a bigger illusion, and at some point it will pop, and that's when you're gonna go into these dark times. So the more compassionate and honest you can be towards yourself and be like, hey, I'm human, it's okay to fail, it's okay to mess up. You just need to kind of become aware of it and be like, yeah, it's okay, I'm still enough. And a lot of people struggle with the self-worth, and I think that's why most people build up this illusion of themselves. But if you kind of go inside and look at your inner child with compassion, and you're just like, yo, it's fine, anything that happened in your life, it wasn't necessarily your fault, and you can kind of forgive yourself and be like, yeah, you are enough. And once you become fine with your inner child and yourself, your life will change to be so much better. And this is the whole point with becoming aware. Think about what kind of person you were when you were a kid, because that's when you were genuine and like authentic. So get back to that, and you will find it inside if you dig deep enough. These are my 5 suggestions and tools for becoming more self-aware. And if you just keep on doing small things every day to become more aware, it will snowball. It will give you so much more peace and satisfaction in life, because you are starting to be aligned with who you are internally. Thanks for watching. My name is Mitz. Comment what you think about this self-awareness. Is it important to you or not? And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.